are listening, can you let us know if you can hear us now? So as we were saying before, but obviously no one could hear us, we are here today from Driver Recruiting with Schneider to go over our packing list for Schneider's orientation. Several things that we feel that are important for you guys to know and understand, and we thought it'd be a great idea to have a video out there to refer to. So today, my name is Rhonda, in case you weren't able to hear us for that part before, and I am here today with Unique and Amelia, and we would love to discuss these topics with you. We're going to go through our list of items. We're not going to line by line it for you. If you have questions, please remember that we're live, and you can ask questions, and we will try to answer them as they are coming in. And so to get us started, did you want to go over some of the forms and documents, or the most important things that we want to make sure that they remember or that they have to have with them in order to come in?
So first day of orientation, the first half of your morning is going to be the onboarding process. So you'll need all of your documentation as far as your CDL license, which is very important, your medical examiner's card or the certificate, whichever one that you have, and then another form of ID. We do send you a full list of many different options that you can bring. So those are going to be the three most important things. And also, if you are interested in being set up on direct deposit, you'll want to make sure you have your banking information, such as your routing number and your account number, so that we can get that completed for you for that very first paycheck.
Did you have some things that you were going to mention about that?
No, I think Unique really covers that.
Okay.
In addition to your CDL license, if you do have any paperwork regarding your endorsements or your TWIC card or any other materials that you have related to your license, those are also really important to bring as well.
Yes,
Exactly.
and we do, assist with getting your transportation to orientation. So receipts and anything that you're going to be needing reimbursement for, you'll want to make sure you bring that with you to orientation. But of course, right now it is winter, so you want to make sure that you're dressing the part and making sure you have, full length pants, long sleeve shirts if you're going to be on a bulk or a tanker position. And then just making sure that you have the proper footwear as well. That'll be really important. We do provide you with boots if you do not have any of your own. So they do need to be non-slip, non-skid, or water and oil resistant.
Yep, exactly. And speaking of the boots and shoes, not all of our accounts need or require a steel-toed. So your recruiter would let you know if you are going to be on an account that does require a steel-toed boot, just so that you can be prepared. And I can tell you that if you're on any of our driver unload or bulk accounts or things like that, anything that has a lift gate, those are the main accounts that do require that. We do have, like Unique said, we do have those boots and shoes available for you at orientation for a one-time payroll deduction. We do give you a great discount on them. They're name brand, your major name brand. And so for the most part, we do have those if you don't already have a pair. I think one of the things too, when we were talking about, you kind of mentioned that about the things. So just just kind of saying, letting you know that you get a packing list included with your orientation email. It's a 2-page document. Then the second page really does go into that identification paperwork that we need, or the documents that we need to be able to do the government document for filling out. So that is a really great step. And I think that's part of the reason we wanted to draw this to your attention is we get a lot of questions from drivers who say, well, what do we bring? What do I need? And we do try to provide you with everything right in that orientation document. So I think, we kind of talked a little bit. What are some of the things we want to make sure they know not to wear or have, to come to orientation with?
Yeah, so the length of orientation varies. So a lot of the things on here are going to be dependent on whether you're going to be there for a longer or a shorter period of time. But when attending orientation, you just want to make sure that you don't have any, if you're going to wear denim jeans, probably not any holes. No sweatpants, no leggings, any athletic wear as far as tank tops, basketball shorts, things like that. We do ask that you bring a pair of shorts and a loose fitted shirt when you do a merge testing, which is again completed on that first day of orientation. That is a part of your onboarding. So you'll want to make sure that you bring those things. But just coming with work appropriate clothes because you are going to be outside. Right now it's cold. You want to make sure that you have a jacket, gloves. There are obviously things that people might overlook on the list because they're not sure if they need them, but a flashlight is one of the really important things too. You are going to need that when you're looking under your truck and completing your pre-trip, so that you know if your truck is safe to get on the road. So it is really important.
Gloves to protect your hands.
Yes.
Even when it's not cold, you do want to have a
Yes.
pair of work gloves.
Exactly.
Yeah, and going off of
And-
that, oh, sorry.
Yep.
Going off of that, we do have a question from
yeah, go ahead.
Marcus asking, do you have weather stop pay in case of bad weather?
What was that? Weather stop?
Weather
pay?
stop pay.
Okay.
We do have layover pay.
Mhm.
Layover pay is offered on, I would say, about 99% of our accounts. It's usually, if there's ever an unexpected amount of downtime, that is usually over a certain amount of time. And we do go through all of the different things that are included with that pay on your first day of the interview. So we do offer that if you have unexpected downtime. As you know, Schneider is really big on safety. So if there was ever weather that would not be safe for you to drive, we would have you stop and we would let you know where the closest Schneider approved parking location is going to be. So those are all things that you would discuss with your recruiter when having an interview.
Exactly. One of the things to mention about, when you kind of mentioned this a little bit off topic, but it kind of goes in with that when you talk about, layover, stop pay, those kind of things, or even breakdown pay, because some of our accounts do pay that as well. If you're away from home, and not able to be at home. So if you were home when the weather turned bad, that would be something that would be different than being out on the road when you weren't able to move,
Yes.
due to weather. So really, we do try to compensate drivers and make things, we know that this is your livelihood as well. You're also the captain of your own ship, so you do not need to have us tell you to stop. You can, but one of the big things is just communicating with operations, with your, customer service operations team. We have 24/7 support for that. So really, to answer your question, if you're not sure, you ask, and they'll help you answer those questions, as far as that goes. I know that we've had some shutdowns down in some unexpected areas again so yes, I definitely can see where that question comes in.
Yeah, just this last year, weather was cold in places. It usually wasn't cold. So those are great questions because it can happen anywhere. Bad weather is unpredictable. So that's why, again, it's important for you to have those gloves, a jacket with you in your truck. You never know what the weather's going to be like. So it's nice that you have, some storage in your truck that you can store these things in case you need them.
Yeah, thank you for your question, Marcus. We do have a couple of other questions that we will get to, but as a reminder, we are live right now, so please send us in your questions while we are live and able to answer them. Eric has a question. Do you have any regional or dedicated in his zip code? And that is a great question. You can go to schneiderjobs.com, plug in your zip code, and it will pull up all the available opportunities. And then one of our recruiters would be happy to discuss those in detail with you by calling 844-PRIDE. And with that, then we also have the question, do you have part-time positions?
Part-time positions are based on availability and location. We do have a lot of accounts in some areas where we are looking for flexible drivers or part-time drivers. Typically, those come with minimum requirements for time out per month. And so again, as Amelia had stated, schneiderjobs.com, putting in your zip code. On the screen, when you're looking at your screen on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll be able to do filters to kind of, home time, all of those things as well. So it's a really great source for you to look and get a visual of what we have. And then if you're still not sure, definitely reach out to our recruiting specialists. Are always available during our operating hours to answer questions either via phone, or we do have a text line that you can text that into as well, right? There's a prompt right from that page. But again, that's your first stop, is to check out schneiderjobs.com.
Yes, and just a little bit off topic here, but again, going through that checklist, like I said, it does vary how long you are going to be in orientation. So just as an example, if you are on a bulk or a tanker account, you'll be out longer for orientation, and if you're inexperienced as well. So during those times, you do have an over-the-road training period while you're over the road with a trainer. So you will be sleeping in the truck. We do have sleepers in those trucks. So you'll want to make sure that you bring yourself either a sleeping bag or a pillow, whatever you're going to need to sleep comfortably in the truck, because we don't provide any sheets, blankets, pillows. So you'll want to make sure that you bring those. A lot of times that is something that's overlooked because you do have a hotel stay at some point. So they don't really realize that they're going to be transitioning onto the road, and you'll want to make sure you've got a blanket maybe to sleep with.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And we have some more questions rolling in.
Awesome.
We have one asking, going off of that training question, how long do you stay on the road with a trainer?
That varies. So if you're an inexperienced driver, it is a full 5 days of over-the-road training. We feel like that gives you a really hands-on training period before you transition to being on the position by yourself. We offer the CAT program, which is that CDL apprenticeship program. You are on the road for a full 2 weeks. So that is going to be for a new driver. We want you to have a lot of driving time before you actually obtain your license with us. So they do vary, especially if you're on a bulk account. I think you're on the road for
It's
about
up to 10 days, I
up
believe
to
it
10
is.
days. And that's, even if you're experienced or inexperienced, because you are going to be hauling those liquids. So the over the road period does vary. So it's a great question to ask a recruiter if you're thinking about applying.
Yeah, and the questions keep rolling in. Craig is asking, what number should I call to talk to a recruiter to get started? I don't have a CDL yet and would need to go to school first to obtain that. Well, that is a great question, Craig. You can call 844-PRIDE to speak with one of our recruiting specialists. Otherwise, again, go to our website, take a peek at our options. We do offer a paid CDL training with the CDL apprenticeship program, as well as have other options to help you obtain that Class A. Otherwise, you can obtain your Class A on your own and give us a call then when you're ready to proceed with that Class A license. Shayla is asking, there's so many different jobs available. How do I know which one is the best option? That's a good question.
There's a lot of different filters you can go through. I think the first thing you want to know is, how much home time are you looking for? Do you have to be home every week? Are you okay with staying out for 3? Same goes for, what you're looking to receive on an average of weekly pay. So there's a lot of different things that go into trying to find what's best for you.
Exactly. I say, take a look at your, at what's available in your area. And then if you're still wondering, especially if you're a new driver and you're not real sure about what the different accounts mean and that kind of thing, that's why we have the recruiting specialist available for you. You can certainly give a call to that 844-PRIDE. The other thing I would say is, if you aren't sure, pick the one that you think you're the most interested in, get your application in to start the hiring process. Your recruiter is more than happy to kind of discuss that with you. And if it may not be the best fit, we can talk about other interests that you have and get you matched to the right one. No need to apply for several positions. One is all you need.
Yes.
That application is good for a year, and we can do everything on the backside.
Exactly. I have people that, started out with wanting something, and we update SchneiderJobs.com every single day. And maybe even a week before they were going to start, they said, hey, I found something with more home time or a little bit more pay. Can I switch? Yes, you can.
Yep.
Right before orientation, we can make changes like that for you. So it's no problem.
Okay, Omar is asking the question, if I pay for CDL school with personal savings, can I get reimbursed?
You bet, Omar. We have a tuition reimbursement program available. We reimburse drivers up to the amount of $7,000 for the tuition. And we do that in a monthly payment directly to you. Very few, especially if you paid out of pocket yourself, at a rate of $200 a month for solo drivers. And we are currently offering $400 a month for team drivers. So we would be more than happy to discuss that in more detail. It's very simple, no contract, no, penalty if you, whatever. So it is a great benefit for our drivers that have graduated within the last 12 months of from a truck driving school.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said the 12 months, because not everybody is able to pay for their school in full, and we're fully aware of that. So if you've made any payments at least a full year, even after your graduation date, all of those payments still qualify. So if you're on a payment plan, continue to save those receipts or, the payment history with the truck driving school, because we can reimburse you for that amount.
Exactly.
Eric is just saying that he started in Atlanta and he loves Schneider. It's a great company. So we're happy to have you, Eric.
Yep. Welcome to the
Yes.
company. We're happy to have you.
Now, as far as, again, the checking list, there are many things to bring with you, but we do provide you with a lot of the stuff you need during the time you're in orientation. We provide you with a, breakfast if you're going to be staying at one of our hotels, or one of the hotels that we partner with, excuse me. There is a lunch that's provided to you. The only thing that you need to be able to cover is the cost of your own dinner. And then, when you transition to that over the road training, whether, however many days it may be, you'd be responsible for the cost of your own meals. So just wanting to make sure that you prepare yourself financially for, being away from home for X amount of days.
Yeah. And along with that, when I've had drivers ask me while they're trying to figure out, budgeting and that kind of thing, you are getting paid for your orientation time. Schneider drivers do get paid weekly. So your first paycheck would be your second week at orientation. So just to kind of, put that in there as part of that budgeting and planning for coming, but it's great to make sure that you have enough to at least get you through the first 2 weeks. And then, for evening meals and personal expenses, we try to provide you with that, but again, we don't have, the hotels will only offer what they have available. So if you have special diet needs or things like that, you take that into consideration as well. And then for the time out on the road with the trainer, the training engineers, that is what we call our driver trainers. They do have refrigerators or coolers that you can have some space in to put food items. So they'll want you to, you'll get some restart time before going on the road. So you'll want to make sure that you grab some, items to bring along with you to get you started for that road time as well.
Great. And these questions continue to roll in. And as a reminder, we are live, so please continue to send your questions in to us. Ernesto is asking, where's my nearest orientation going to be? I'm from New Mexico.
Good question. That's a hard one to answer. I would say 50% of the job positions that are available, we can choose the closest orientation location to you. But, some of our dedicated accounts and things like that, they do have a chosen orientation location already. So you could be attending somewhere that might be a little far away from home. It really all depends on what position you're interested in. So I would maybe ask a recruiter, if you can possibly attend an orientation closer to home, but sometimes they are chosen for you already.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you're doing most of our like van truckload or things like that, it's usually I believe if I'm remembering my map right, probably Phoenix would be the closest for you, but that's not necessarily the case if you were to say do a bulk tanker position or an intermodal.
Yes.
Those have very specific locations, and especially if you're doing the apprenticeship, those are specified locations only because they aren't being done at every one of our operating or training centers.
Great question there. Brandon is asking, I tried to get a job and was told I need 6 months of experience. Is that true?
We do overall reviews, so we can't really speak specifically on your application or why that information was, provided to you. But if you had more questions, I really do recommend giving us a call back, and we can maybe try to explain to you a little bit better maybe why that decision was made.
And on top of that, there are some positions that do require 3 months or more of experience, and sometimes 12 months or more of experience. So it does depend on the account and the position itself.
Correct. Yes. Great answers and great question. And again, if we didn't answer your questions at the interview time, don't hesitate to call back in. We can certainly take a look and see if we can answer it more directly to you personally.
Yes. Right. And we're out of questions right now.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Final chance to get your questions in.
Bring those in. I do want to say one of the things that we didn't talk about yet, kind of a sideline for not everyone is going to need to bring these items, but if you do need to do an on-site physical with us, we want to make sure that, just as a reminder that if you have any prescription medications, if you use a CPAP machine or any of those types of items, you will be directed to do that, to bring those with you as well. It just makes it much easier for our on-site physicians to, medical examiners to know what you have and what you don't when you're doing those types of things. And again, I would say one of the things that has happened in the past for me, if you have corrective lenses listed as a restriction on your motor vehicle report, you have to bring your corrective lenses with you, whether it's contacts or glasses, and please make sure that that is an updated prescription that you can see, can pass the eye test with. So those
Yes.
are important things that have happened before. People have been sent home because they forgot their glasses and couldn't go out on the road. Just safety. We follow DOT rules and regulations. So that is something that would be important for you to have.
Yes.
Omar has a question again. Single room occupancy at training. Yes, it will be single room occupancy, so you will have the hotel room to yourself. However, we do ask that guests do not stay with you during that time at orientation.
Yeah, and another thing is we do it for safety as well. We want to make sure everyone's being as healthy and as safe as possible. So even when you're doing that over the road training, you are going to have a mentor with you, but they will not be sleeping in the truck with you. The top bunk is used for storage for any of the personal belongings that you had with you in the hotel. You'll be sleeping in the bottom bunk, and your mentor does check into the nearest hotel. So again, you'll be sleeping alone at the full orientation length.
Correct.
Yes.
I think that, there, kind of some helpful tips and stuff that they talk about on here for our inexperienced drivers. Just letting you know, kind of a backtrack a little bit, just as we're following up to give people just a couple of minutes in case there's any more questions coming in. Orientation for most cases for an inexperienced driver is going to be about 19 days. However, tanker is going to be up to 5 weeks. So, preparing for that is a little bit more involved, but we do make sure you will have access to laundry facilities, hotel or at the operating center. And then when you go on the road, your TE, you guys will be staying in the truck, but you'll stop at Schneider facilities, and there may be laundry facilities at those or at the truck stops. And I think we talked a little bit about some of the things that you can bring with you and things. Some of the items your recruiter can kind of maybe mention some of those to you, but if you're looking for some of these things that we talked about bringing, or some of the things that you'd like to be, I'd say, definitely don't need to have the coolers or anything with you at orientation until you see your truck. But when you are looking for that, there's a lot of tips and tricks that they'll be able to give you about items you can purchase at major retailers, discount retailers and stuff that would save you some money on those items. But wait till you get your truck assigned till you know exactly what you need before you go making any major purchases on equipment for the truck.
Yeah, it's great that you say that, because some of our trucks do already have those refrigerators. And I know we talked about it yesterday. We'd hate for you to go and purchase one, and then you are assigned your truck and there's already one in there. So maybe just wait to see what's going to be provided to you and kind of pick and choose from there what you're going to need.
Exactly.
And you can always stop at a truck stop or a large discount retailer to pick up those necessary items that you may have forgotten or just want to add to your truck once you're on the road.
Yeah, and bringing some snacks with you, I think, is helpful. You don't want to have to purchase something every single time you stop at a gas station or a trucking stop. Dry snacks are really great, small things that you can store inside of those refrigerators. Yeah, so definitely recommend bringing yourself water, things like that that you can store and you don't need much room for them.
It looks like NE is at orientation right now in Indiana, and due to some weather, they're losing a day of orientation, and he's asking if that affects your training. That's a great question. I would recommend that you speak to your instructors and your trainers at orientation. They're going to be best able to answer how that will impact the rest of your training program, but we do wish you the very best and stay safe out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for just a knowledge on that, they do build in a little bit of extra time at orientation already. So if it's just the one day, it probably won't affect you a whole lot, but as Amelia said, your driver, your instructors will be the best resource for you for that.
Or your student representative at the OC as well will be able to help you.
Exactly.
I think, do we have any more questions coming in?
I don't think so.
It looks
No
like
more
no more
questions.
questions.
Well, I think we've covered quite a bit, and great questions today. Keep them coming though, even after we're live, because we will have someone monitoring and answering questions. But again, Amelia, if you want to go ahead you want to go ahead and sign us off for the day.
Of course. Well, again, thank you so much for joining the live today and asking all of the questions. If you have any other questions, you can still comment. We do have somebody that monitors those questions, and we'll get back to you with answers as soon as possible. But if, like I said, if you're thinking about applying with us, definitely give us a call. We do send this packing checklist to you, so you don't have to memorize everything because it is a lot. But thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, give us a call at 800-44-PRIDE.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.